made. And you might not agree. I would just say how you were born. I
Yeah.
could even say, just to come to common ground on that.
Oh, okay, so the creator chose that men and women have separate roles and it's innate.
Well, not just separate roles, but made differently. And out of being made differently, you get different roles.
Right. So if science proves that the other way, do you rely on creator over science?
But science has done the opposite. So, for example, in a Harvard study, they put 50 women in a room alone, and they put 50 men in the room alone.
What age?
Not relevant, but around 25, right?
Relevant. But okay.
So
No, sorry. I'm actually having so much fun.
Okay.
Sorry. Keep going.
So if you really, I'm fascinated that you think that 8-year-olds' brains are infinitely neuroplastic. But we'll get to that back to that later.
No,
So,
when they're like babies. By 8 years old, you're already going through school and you've had so many
Yeah.
relationships. They're definitely affected.
But again, if you were right, John Money would have been proven right. But we'll get to that later.
Okay.
So, that test has been replicated so many times, and even the Dutch, who are like the most progressive on this, have gotten away from the idea of tabula rasa, that boys and girls are born similarly with brain differences. But we'll agree to disagree on that. But anyway, 25-year-olds were put into a room, okay?
Right.
And they said, men, what do you think about when they're alone? No surprise, sports and sex,
Yeah.
right? Young ladies, what do you think about in the room alone for 30 minutes just by themselves? They replayed prior conversations that they had. For the record, no man in the history of the species has replayed conversations that we had and thought about them when we were alone in a room. Like, what conversation, what was this person said? Women are far more relational, micro, than men. And that's just based on how our design is.
Whoa. I think that you just lied that all men don't think. That's such a...
It's called a joke. I'm sure there's a man
okay.
somewhere that recollected on a conversation.
Well, I didn't know that in a dialect that's a debate based on science and you're talking about a study, that would you implement a joke that's based on a
Yes,
truth?
humor is a tool of a rhetorician to try to get people, to chuckle, a little levity. So, yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Let me ask you a question. Do you think testosterone and estrogen play into people's ability to have drive, ambition, feelings? Do you think testosterone and estrogen are important?
Yes.
Okay, so then if women are lower in testosterone and higher in estrogen, and men are lower in estrogen and higher in testosterone, wouldn't that, independent of society's framing, play into the idea that there are natural differences between the two?
I think that it definitely plays into the idea that there are natural differences. And I think there are natural differences. I just think to an extent that as a society we've decided that men, because they have more testosterone, and we've known testosterone makes people more aggravated, what's aggravated, I'll just leave it.
Aggressive?
Aggressive, yes, sure.
I'll take aggressive.
Yeah, thank you. That it makes people, or men, more aggressive, that we've decided that means that men are not in control of their moral ability or their ability to choose what they're going to do. So it becomes like men have more testosterone, but they still have the ability to choose to treat people better or with less aggression. Like it's like, oh, men don't have the ability to make those choices. That's almost like downplaying men's ability by saying that they just have to give in to their aggression.
I'm not contesting that. The mark of a true man is one who can control himself.
Okay.
Do you think that do you think there's a problem of trying to turn women too masculine?
Turning women too masculine. What's masculine for you?
Well, let's just say not agreeable, forceful, aggressive, aggressive in the best possible term, forward-thinking, more macro, more visionary, less feeling-based, more rational, more yearning towards reason and dialogue, and less towards compassion or the ethos.
And what's feminine to you?
The inverse of that, so more on the emotion side, less macro, more micro, much more.
So women are just what men are not?
No, they're different sides of a species coin, right? So you have a human species, you have a male and female, and there's differences. So I could also posit it separately. A woman is more compassionate, a man is less compassionate. So there's two ways to word it, but do you think that there's a problem about trying to force women to be too masculine?
No, I don't think there's a problem.
Okay, well, I disagree. We have a crisis in this country. I'm curious, why do you think